Juggalos and Juggalettes, is your big homie Big Ian coming at you again, live and direct with an interview with the Kottonmouth King himself, the Dirtball. Dirtball, say hello to
What?
everybody.
Yeah, what up, Ian? What up, all you juggalos, juggalettes out there, figure lovers? What up?
All right, y'all. As I'm sure you know, Dirtball's new solo album, Nervous System, it drops tomorrow. So we here at FLH wanted to sit down with him and kind of get the details on this new release. So Dirtball, one of the first things I want to ask you is, what can your fans expect from this release that stands out differently from the music you do as a part of the Kottonmouth Kings?
With this record, for previous people that have my older records, they probably know that I make every record sounds a little different. This one I focused more on. It's basically just more of a street rap record from the Dirtball. It's like everything else is like Crook County was a little more rock focused. This album is like my version of like my Chronic record. So it's a lot different than what we do with Kottonmouth. This is me, my solo stuff, so it's definitely going to sound a little different. I use some different production, so it's got a nice variance of production on there, and I just brought it a little more street on this one than I usually do, and which is basically where my head is at anyway. So.
Gotcha. Now, for those people who haven't already checked out the track list for Nervous System, what can you tell us about collaborations that we might see on this album?
Well, you're going to see, obviously, me and Big B have a track on there. I work with Big B quite a bit and have in the past. And X and Richter from Kottonmouth, we have tracks. I got a track with X called Let's Do It, super West Coast banger, and then one with Richter called Spill Zone, alcoholic anthem pretty much. And then I got Blaze You Dead Homie on a track called The Paper, which is a sick situation right there. So those are the guests, It wasn't, like, my records aren't so much guest-driven. Like, I enjoy making records, and I know it can get old, like hearing the same, the person over and over. But on this record especially, there's so many different types of songs on it. I really didn't need too many guest appearances. I wanted, I've always wanted to work with Blaze, so that was a good thing that we did that. And some family members like Big B and X and Richter. But that's about it for guests on this one. And it flows nice. It's definitely not lacking of guests, So.
Gotcha. So are there any tracks on this album that are actually standing out as personal favorites of yours?
Yeah, dude. I'm a big fan of I Smell Hell. Track number 10. It's a 7 produced this beat, and it's it's one of my darker tracks. It's more of I would pertain it a little, probably the darkest track. It's probably my favorite one. I like Crackin' Now, pretty in your face banger. Long Road. It's kind of a slower track on the record that really gets me. That's actually probably my favorite song, just because it's more of a reflective track. It's about the only slow song on the album. So, But I've listened to this record for about it's been a minute since I released an album. I mean, I did like 50 or 60 tracks for this record, so I have a gang of songs here that didn't make this. And you shouldn't wait 2 years to release albums because it gets to be too long. So I've listened to this record forever, but the beauty of it is that it's never worn out to me. Usually as the artist I can like listen to it a few hundred times, and then I'm throughout the process I'm like, man, but this a Nervous System album is just straight. I listen to it just for personal enjoyment, so I know it's going to go well with the fans.
Okay, and that actually ties me in perfectly to my next question, which is you were talking about how you waited a little bit too long for Nervous System to come out. So, which is, why was there such a big gap in time between the releases of Crook County and Nervous System?
Well, after I finished Crook County and toured on it heavily, I start writing. There's really no ever any end. I have my studio in my house, and I record wherever I am pretty much. So it never ends. But there is always a starting point. Like right now, I just started on my newest record about last week, so there is a starting point. But in the middle of all that, I joined the Kottonmouth Kings, and we recorded "Long Live the Kings," which was, a good 6-7 month recording session. And then I also was been a part of the X Pistols, which is Daddy X's side project. So we recorded that record. So there's really been no halt or no lack of time in between Crook County to now. It's just been tons of work, So it really was a matter of me just just almost getting not too deep, but just so much work going on. So I've been focusing on that, and I'm just stoked to get it out finally. Now I've got another one already in the works that's coming down the pipe that's going to be fucking sick too. So yeah, that gap. I think it might happen in some artist's career, but for me, it was just a matter of so much work with 3 different bands that, I've just swamped basically.
And wow, we're branching off into a bunch of stuff I want to cover. Just one quick clarification: the 3 bands
Hmm.
being Kottonmouth Kings, X Pistols, and then your solo releases.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I didn't say bands, but yeah, 2 bands, one solo career.
Gotcha. Okay, and so before we move on, like you said, you just recently started work on your next album. You mean your next solo album?
Yeah, right now we're working on Sunrise Sessions. We're wrapping it up for Kottonmouth, this next record, and we've been working our tails off on that. And that's some serious sick material. Kottonmouth Kings 420, that's going to come out. And so I've started working on my next solo. I mean, I've been working on it, but I just officially last week was like, all right, boom, I got a gang of new tracks, and I'm like, just it's pretty exciting, once you start the process because. Yeah, so I am definitely on the process of my next one. My goal is to get it out there, within this year, so it's not like another 2-year wait. So I can stay on like a year cycle, like boom, boom, because a year goes by pretty fast when you release records.
Yeah.
So if I can just stay on that zone for the rest of my career, that's my goal.
Okay, so are there any other cool details you can leak on that? Like maybe an album name, anything, or is that way too early in the creative process?
Oh gosh, dude, it's way too early. I got some killer names going on. It's like that's almost what spawned it all off, but it's definitely dark and twisted and creepy, and I don't know what the hell my brain is doing if it's being exposed to all of this Juggalo mania for 6 years. But I'm writing some seriously dark stuff on this next record, so all my Juggalos and Juggalettes, beware, be ready. It's definitely aiming towards you.
Okay, and as you said, we can really heavily expect that by the end of this year.
I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm going to really, really try and get that out. If not, it'll just be right at the beginning of 2012. I'll clack with another one, and what I'm going to try to do with this, the way technology is just stay releasing. Keep writing this record, and as I come across certain tracks that I feel would be good to just wrap up right away and release, I'm going to be releasing, 3 or 4 throughout the time in between to keep it going and just keep it, keep the attention on the next record. So, my fans can expect different tracks coming at them.
So kind of like what you've been doing with Nervous System, pre-releasing tracks to really build a lot of hype for it.
Right, and with Nervous System, I did it a little closer to the record, but I think I'm just going to offer fans tracks, you know what I mean, that would have been off of this next record, and so we can just kind of keep it going, and then maybe even remix those tracks that I put out for the record and add different verses and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have different incentives and challenge and things going on for this next album, so I can keep everybody up to date and having fresh music from the Dirtball, not just waiting a long time again, because that really affected me as much as it, I don't know if it affected any of my fans, but I get messages like, why do you wait so long, and that affects me, and I don't want to do that ever again. So I'm just going to start releasing music, and then, like I said, early 2012, have another record.
Okay, awesome. So coming back around to some more of the nervous system questions. One of the things I wanted to know was, given that you're a member of the Kings now and you perform with them on stage, do you think your fans will ever get a chance to see you perform any of your solo stuff off Nervous System or any of your other solo albums live?
Yeah, and that's right now. That's the main. It's funny you bring that question up because that's what's going on in my life right now. Is I'm a live. That's my whole thing, and my fans have seen me from the beginning. My live appeal is what I really push for and what really excels me. Doing the shows like Kottonmouth Kings, we're revamping our whole our website and everything for 420. So we're doing a lot of work right now, and the reason I'm not on the Strange Noise tour is because we are getting ready to do a lot of Kottonmouth Kings shows. So that being said, you will be able to see me. I'm going to be planning more over one-off shows, but yes, and I have even had to turn down a couple runs just to stay and keep what we have coming for all y'all with the Kottonmouth Kings. So like I said, I'm really heavily involved, and I didn't realize so much that how important all this would become, and it's kind of keeping me right these months around the release off the road. But I will be out supporting Nervous System, so my fans know that. I just don't know exactly which tour, and it may be around June area. But that's just how the chips fall on this. So I'm really like getting my fans to just, street team as much as I can and support this record. And on another note, with that touring side, it's also a good gauge, this record, for me to see how many fans get it, how many fans I have. And, without being, this is the first time I've released an album without being on the road for the album. So it's kind of going to be a good way. I've never been able to pump it from online so much, and so this could be a good gauge to see how many fans I really have.
Okay, awesome. And you've actually done a fairly good job of answering this next question throughout the course of the interview, but it still needs to be asked, which is that, do you think that being made a member of the Kings has or will push your solo projects to the side, or does that just mean that you're going to be, or does that mean that being a member is just going to make you end up working harder to create that much more music?
Yeah, that's what it has done, and that's what, my fans can't quite see that right now, I don't think, but well, they should be able to see that. But what it does is, we're working for the whole of the Kottonmouth Kings. Each individual member is working for the whole of the Kottonmouth Kings. And so when we, like me releasing, these are all Kottonmouth Kings Presents records right here too. And so we're all working for the betterment of this, and all it does is spawn more abilities to record. For me, all of this is done is like, not all this, but all of this has made me a better musician. Like recording X Pistols and the Long Live the Kings record and being able to be a part of these albums that I can be a different artist within, and kind of expand my own abilities. It's really turned me into a monster, dude, because right now I'm recording so much at my house, and it's exciting for me. I think that's been the blessing, is it's really opened up me as an artist, and all it's going to do is just launch the Dirtball even further, So right now I'm just on the springboard of, this awesome thing we all call the Kottonmouth Kings, and it's just amazing. So I'm just blessed to be involved in it, I mean, it really has given awareness to my career, inadvertently, that I needed. That I'm a real slept on MC, and I'm sure a lot of MCs say that, but I really am. And it's just like, dude, I mean, I've been cranking around these underground tunnels for 6 years hard, and this is the first time I pulled off for a second, but only just to do 2 other large groups. So I'm really just, there's tons to come from the Dirtball. It's just a matter of how we do this, and this, strategically placing these tours and doing it properly, rather than just getting on every single thing to stay out on the road,
Gotcha. Well,
I don't know if that answered your question. Did that answer
no,
your
absolutely, absolutely,
okay,
man.
okay.
And thank you. That was a very thorough answer. One more thing I want to cover real quick is for anybody who wants to get out there and actually get their hands on a hard copy rather than, going out to iTunes or something. Can you tell us some of the options and locations where people will be able to pick up the Nervous System?
Yeah, if you didn't pre-order it and you're going to go out and get it day of the release tomorrow, you can go to any stores. A lot of your mom and pops probably have ordered a few copies, but Best Buy carries them. And then if you want to get the bonus disc where I did the Dirtball Rips the Kottonmouth Classics Volume 1 and 2, it's in the FYE version. So if you go to FYE, you get actually 2 records, a bonus disc with all the Kottonmouth Dirtball Rips the hits. And you can get the bonus discs at FYE, or if you order it from subnoisestore.com. If you go to Best Buy, you just get the main record and all other stores. So FYE and Subnoise stores where you get the bonus records.
Okay, y'all, keep that in mind. Best Buy and FYE are national chains. If you're trying to get a hard copy, you have no excuse not to be able to get out to one of those 2 stores and grab Nervous System.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions I got for you today, man. Is there anything else you'd like to say specifically about Nervous System dropping tomorrow, or just anything else to your fans in general before we hop out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say mad props and thanks to all my fans, because this is the first record I've been able to see, like I said, online, how many fans I have and how much work people are willing to do. Like, I just started this street team last week, got it going, and I'm just inundated with people interested in wanting to be involved. So I'm super pumped. This is like a window for me to see all the work that I've done and that I'm going to do in the future. So really just thanks to my fans. Go get Nervous System in the stores. Kottonmouth Kings, Sunrise Sessions coming out 4/20. So keep your fingers on the button, Kottonmouth Kings.
All right, y'all. Well, with all that said, this has been The Dirtball and Big Ian. We're out of here.
Word.